Hello and welcome back to the sea. Here we are again with Simon's piles of things, and this is board number 2. In the previous video you saw us repair the Amiga 500 Rev 6A with a bad 44256K RAM chip, questionable solder job on the Agnes, blah blah blah. Here is a 3000 Rev 9, and it's in for it don't work. All the chips look like they... I don't know what's going on with them. They're cracked and pulled and a mess and scratched like they put amber. Jeez, it was. Sockets cracked. Buster sockets cracked. On the end, it's split from the tool and prying, and that's great. Clock chips, battery damaged. Denise is crusty. Paul is crusty. Previous battery removal was not cleaned up. Variable trimmer caps in both locations for amber. Amber jumper stuck in closed loop instead of open loop. On the bottom, I'm just going to pretend we didn't see that. This is going to be the first of the new power supply that I built from the kit from Mr. Simon Dosk. Not Mr. Simon, the owner of this board. We're going to be using my... Jeez Whiz. We're going to be using my 3000 donor daughter board. Yay! Oh shit. This is a 4000. After digging on the Indiana Jones side, here we go. This is the motherboard for 3000. We got nothing. Nothing. This power supply is super quiet, by the way. Let's try it in RGB. I can be on tick because this is an actual power supply. We get absolutely nothing. Shit. Totally dead. Go figure. Chips have been all pulled out trying to be fixed by changing.
You guys think you can pull one over on me, huh?
Stuck in low. Is this the story of my life with Amiga 3000s? Stuck in low. So anyway, it's 8 p.m. at night. I've been working on 500 things all day. So that's an initial test of this machine. Chips are very badly damaged. I don't even know if they work. Battery damage looks minimal.
You never know what you're going to get.
Good morning from Sunday. My first impressions of this were I don't know what's wrong. I'm going to start by removing Denise and Paula, and they're the #1 causes of non-functioning Amigas. While the chip looks clean, the socket does not. So we have Denise and Paula out. The socket is green and could possibly have some corrosion underneath. So as usual, unfortunately, I'm going to have to replace sockets. I don't know about these chips. They've been removed. I think they were being swapped around to see if the board could function with a chip swap. But with damage to these two sockets, it's very unlikely that anything is going to be possible. Once sockets are removed with Denise and Paula here, I will have to do the dreaded pinouts and go through this area just to see what the heck is going on. It is also a VR Amiga. There were machines built era 92 era that had a virtual reality game enclosure. They were powered by Amiga 3000s, and this is one of those machines. Mr. Simon has many of these VR machines. I'm going to go to 700 degrees Fahrenheit and add solder to these points to chemically change the previous lead solder into something that melts due to the electrolytic damage that has occurred from the battery. That way we have a surface that can melt. Okay, so that's that. So I've added solder to Denise and Paula to chemically change something back into a molten ability, something that can melt. I'm going to go ahead and use my S993 Alpha from
China.
GI Gowl Joy. It's a Heiko clone. It works really well for what I use it for and has for years. Before I remove the sockets, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Lorena and I'm going to cut the ribs out of the socket. Why am I cutting the ribs out of the socket? Mainly, now I'm left-handed, but I'll do this right-handed for camera, so I can separate the ribs. Now I don't go down all the way, just to, like I lift up just a little bit, the plastic will crack on its own. Get the center ribs out. That way I can do half at a time. And I can also check for damage in the middle of said chip from any prying or anything, or any electrolytics or anything that's gotten underneath. You'll be able to tell, like in the rib area, you can see a little mark here and here. Well, that's just electrolytic goop, but it could have broken traces. But that's just my way of doing things. You do you. This is just the way that I kind of do things. It makes my life a little easier. Kind of just how I do things. And there we go. There's some break in the Paula line, right in the middle. You wouldn't have seen that unless you cut the ribs out, or once you totally remove the socket. 10:23 a.m. and Denise is out. I have fluxed it and run over it with some braid. Holes look okay. One possible ring break. After cleaning up, just solder wipe and flux. Denise looks okay on top, as does Paula. However, on the bottom of Paula, in the corner here, on this data line that runs around, like from Denise around and in, you're going to notice right here, and actually like right here is corroded and starting to break free. I think this line is broke. So I'll keep an eye on that when we're cleaning up. It was pretty crusty in here. I do have to get the battery out. So I'm going to crank my soldering station up to 896 degrees Fahrenheit because it's ground planes like a mofo. To get those out, I'm going to do manual on those with the Mini Mona solder sucker. So upon further inspection here in corrosion corner, this outer line is broken. You can barely see it right there. There's another line that's questionable on the inside. And yeah. So that one line is actually a break. Don't know how well you can see it. My camera can't zoom the greatest. I mean, it can, but its macro function is real shit. So I just fiberglass pen this little circle area out. Hopefully I can drag solder this. If not, I'll run a bodge up to its destination point. Let me get a socket in both sides here. I'm done with my 580 degree solder. Fahrenheit, not centigrade, Celsius, metric, communist, whatever you want to call it. I was able to drag solder this little repair right there. It's tiny. It took forever. Went low temperature, just building up corner. I had to take a poker, bend that broken bit back, and then make layers of solder, dragging it in. 2 new sockets, battery posts removed. I don't know about the condition of the chips due to the damage on them from being removed. The clock chip is really crusty here. Its socket is green. Its chip is green. So right there, Y190 is missing. This, I don't know if the light does any justice. It's crusty and green and yucky. This crystal is why I did find it was rotted off. I don't know how the hell that's going to go back together. I don't have one of those. That's going to generate the 28 megahertz, whatever clock we can do. Okay, so that silver crystal thing is not happening. I had to evacuate the holes. I'm going to have to try and find another, like a A501 that's damaged in my fleet of parts. They're not a normal part that goes bad, so it's not like something I can buy a bunch of in stock. I'll have to look. Alright, I'm ready for a reassembly test. I've been fighting off this crud cold or whatever the hell. We are in VGA. Diagram is not hooked up at this point. We're factory ROMs as it was 030, just with the replacement Denise and Paula. And here we go. Same as before, no video signal, no nothing.
What the hell is going on around here?
Nothing at all. And this was one of his good boards. Like, least damaged. The Buster. Now, it's bus mastering. It's not like it's major, but, you know, it's missing some chunks. on the corner. Ramsey, ironically, is not cracked at all. You can see here that Gary was cracked. The DMAC still hanging in there. Amber's been cracked. Agnes has been cracked.
That thing had 9 lives. She just spent them all.
And yeah, so you can see the new Denise socket, the new Paula socket. That's all clean. The bodge fixes. We don't have anything. Not a post, not a nothing. I don't know if it's the chips. I'm going to start with diagram. So we're going to use diagram first. Let's see how that fares. Alright, here we go with diagram. Diagram, nada. Nothing. I can reseat the gals. I'm going to go through some chip tests and we'll see what we get. Hey, so while I'm working on this Amiga, another package came. This one's a donation package from Mr. Matthew, and I greatly appreciate it. We talked over the old Discord or Messenger or something like that. It was Discord, and he said he had some PC cards. First, great for Mythalon machines, Sound Blaster 512 PCI. Perfect. Thank you so much for that. That's great. A serial cable for what's in the box, dude. Perfect. A USB expansion. I am always needing these things. Couple RCAs. A splitter. 3.5 to splitter. A Raspberry Pi 3. Not a B+, just a 3. Thank you for that. Greatly appreciate that. Another splitter. A whole bunch of DIMMs from the old school. PC2s, PC1s, a carbiner with a cardinal. Oh, another carbiner with a cardinal. 2 of them with headphones in them. Thank you. And 2 RJ11s for this. A US Robotics Sportster 56K modem. I have this exact modem for my BBS. That is incredible, and thank you. And there's something else in here too. This is another sound card, a Sound Blaster from 2003. Sound Blaster Live 24-bit. Cool. All these are great for Mythalon machines, which is what they're going to be used for. And the power supply for the USR modem. So Mr. Matthew, thank you very much for your kind and generous donations. They will be used in various things. I'll check out this Pi later on. The sound cards and all of their goodies will be used in future Mythalon builds on this channel. So thanks again for that. And now let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. Okay, even more insult to injury. 1:40 p.m. Continuity tech Denise and Paula. I need to break out the chip tester and test some chips, especially for Denise, and we'll see what happens on it. Denise. Failed. Failed Denise.
Hell no!
A373 Denise. Test. Failed. Let me unplug it and plug it back in because we had false positives before. Denise, test. Failed. So that would explain why we don't have graphics. I don't think I have any Super Denises, but we'll see. Ah, God.
Yeah, I bet you could use a cool one, huh?
Now you're talking.
$100 a chip, Super Denise. I have my Denise from my 3000. Alright, let's test this one. Okay, so I have a Denise that now passes. Denise passed. Test it again. Denise passed. I'm going to test this Denise again. This owner's original Denise. Same 8373. Failed. Agnes back in. Diagram should start regardless. You know, it doesn't need anything to start diagram, Barry. Denise, Paula, they're all ice cold. It's a replacement crystal. KDS. Doubt it. Let's try a clock. One PAL crystal left. 60 MTSCs. New PAL clock crystal. Nothing. Ramsey has bent pins and is crusty. Pins are all bent. It's been out several times. Those two are touching. I don't know. This Ramsey's really bad off. Black is coal. Okay, that's really bad to the point where I have to use an emery board past the blackness to get copper to show again. Letting the chip sit. Gary, okay, so another example of the pins on Gary right here. They're all smashed together. Pins can easily touch. This chip actually looks great, minus the scratches that are all over it. CIAs will be next. I will test them with the chip tester. Hello from Friday night, like a week later. Mr. Simons 3000, that's dead. Hi, it took me 3 days to find this A501. I had a busted A501 too, and I don't know what happened to it. I also got some 44256K zip 20. It's only going to be a couple megs, but I'll jumper this to 256K versus 1MX4, and I'll put some RAM in it in a second. But I need to get this crystal out here to put in the busted one. Alright, with that crystal out, I'm going to put it in the 3000 here. I'm on halt. It should be underscore halt, so that's low. It's going to be stuck high probably. Low, high. Let's see. Low, high. It should go back to low. CPU stuck in halt.
Shit.
Alright, do I get a clock? No. It's going to be one all the way on the other side. I hate probes that give you the shortest frickin' ground on Earth. It is such a pain in the ass. I got doubled up here. 1.47 hertz. Of course. Okay, my clock crystal 3277, close enough. That's holding. So that little crystal mofo is working. Clock of craziness. What the hell is that? 6 megahertz. That is not right. Pull this clock out. Something's wrong with this clock. This crystal is, I don't know. Let's put a new crystal in it. Huh. The crystal rubber is black. Hey, wow. Wait a minute. What's missing? The leg is in the hole. Broke the pin. No clock with a new crystal. What's up with that? Power. Not getting any clock. There's no clock being generated at all. Let's try the 50. There you go. Alright, so the 50 is clocking. 49.9999. That's 50 to me. The CPU is clocking. This one is not. I hate how these crystals are done. This one has no rubber. That's the clock line. That's voltage and some grounds, but the little corner where my crusty finger is that goes to that ferrite bead is the clock signal. I don't have any clock signal. This is a brand new NTSC crystal. I'm going to pull these pegs out. We're going to solder in a PAL crystal. Good God. I can't melt this. Maximum heat, 896 degrees Fahrenheit. That's all I can give her.
That's what she said.
Hate those damn pigs. I know it's easy to remove a crystal, but they break internally. So I'm going to test for continuity between the corner pin and the ferrite bead. Got it. 1 pal crystal. The only one I got. Alright, so the crystal's been replaced and I have no clock. No clock means no computer. 50 is 50 flat. Perfect. It's a little better. Was 49,999 before the old crystal, but we just don't have a clock. We have a crystal that's not crystalline. So I'm going to check the ferrite bead. The ferrite bead is ferrite beading. There's Gary, and it goes to the 74 F74 over here. No clock. Alright, we have continuity between those pins. So Gary is not doing his job.
Who is this Gary character?
Here's your crystal. Alright. Here's your crystal line. This is your 28 megahertz out. It goes to this ferrite bead. Just like this. Pink. Right? You see that? It's kind of pink, but there you go. This little line right here. So it goes across this ferrite bead. And then it goes over to U106, the 4th pin down. I have continuity between that and the crystal's point right here. It then runs down here to this test point, 28 megahertz and 25 megahertz. Goes to this point on Gary. Ain't no talking. I'll test the 25. Oh no. 25 is 25 megahertz on the nose. 25, fine. 28, nada. No 28. 25 megahertz, fine. Perfect. So the 50's working, okay? So the 50, where am I getting the 25? The 25 is coming from the division of the 50 megahertz crystal. So 50 divided by 2, 25 megahertz. 25 megahertz CPU, 25 megahertz FPU. That is working. This crystal's working. This crystal is new, and it is warm. It is warm. Why is the crystal warm? Now I wonder, this crystal is Lieutenant Dan.
Magic legs.
Let me see Fat Gary here. Let's see what we get on Gary. Hey Fat Gary, where are you? Okay, I have continuity between those 2 points. That is that line right there. I have continuity between those. That's 28 megahertz. But I have no 28 megahertz. Common denominator is this or U106. But I don't know. U106, 74, F74 PC. Ice cold. I can try Gary. Do I have a Gary? I have one personal anal logic Fat Gary. One anal logic Fat Gary. This is for testing purposes only. If this is to be the chip, the owner will have to acquire MegaTek 1990. I'm not getting nothing. Alright, here we go. I removed that ferrite bead and replaced. There we go. God.
This is art.
What a pain in the butt that was. And I got a video signal. Hot dog. 28. Perfect. 28.37516 megahertz. Perfect. We got a clock. Thank God. Oh my God. And the video signal came on. Did you see that? Never got that before. She was dead to the world. So, before I get too excited. You know what, I'm not going to get excited. Wait, hit the button. I get a display. Oh my god, I got life. Holy sh... I'll take it. We got life. Diagrams blinking orange and green. Holy god. Let's take a peek at why that would be. Don't care. Oh, we got some all sorts of interesting colors. Have you ever seen that? I don't know what the hell that is. Alright, let's check some stuff here. Board clock, internal. CPU clock, internal. X clock, internal. FPU on. PAL. DF1 off. Amber closed loop. We are in VSync because I want external power supply. Light pen doesn't matter. Okay, it's fine. Energize. Still no diagram. We just lost it again. When I moved it from PAL to NTSC, so I have a PAL crystal and jumper to NTSC, it worked. Look at that. Red ROM. Could I have the ROMs in wrong? Nope. Let's put the Amiga kickstarts in. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We're getting a pulsing signal. So we're getting pulses. So low, high. We're doing, watch. Low, high, and pulsing. We're close. We're close. I'm still getting ROM, red ROM.
Red rum.
Right? So it's bad ROM. But they're the Kickstart ROMs that came with the unit. Oh, we have a plethora of every color in the world. Off. On. Well, we're getting signs of life. That's a big plus. From totally dead to now we have colors. Greens could be bad RAM. It could be bad chip RAM. At least I'm getting a video beep steady. Turquoise is a RAM failure in the A1000. CIA. I can swap them. Carefully. Swapped the CIAs around. Oh, we got life, baby. Yes.
You're the goddamn Iron Chef.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, but as usual, 1 mega chip. So that means some of the boys down here are effed. And I don't have any more, so I have to order them. Oh, look at that. That's great. Bad CIA. Okay, so I still didn't get nothing on diagram, which is weird. I'm gonna plug a mouse in here. It's possible we got a bad CIA. I'm gonna have to order some because I am out. Nothing on diagram, but if we have a bad CIA, of course, oh yeah, we're losing it. Alright. Alright, we have no mouse. So, serial not available. CPU not available. That means the UDS LDS line didn't talk, so it's not going to answer. The 1 mega chip RAM is bad 44256K. Oops, I just touch them, and that happens. So we're going to turn it off, and I'm going to remove the chip RAM, the additional 1 meg, because the sockets are toast. So is the onboard chip RAM bad? And this was the working 1 meg? Most likely. Okay, so we got the other mega chip back in. And we diagram. That's weird. I can't click anything because the CIAs are toast. We got life, we got the machine alive again. It's not fixed at all, but it's got life. Due to the craziness of the CIA socket in the back, I'm going to pull it out. We're going to put a new one in before we go doing chips. The BackBit said at one time that CIA was good. So much so, I'm going to test it again. And we're going to verify that it's possibly good. Passed. Okay. Take this CIA out. Should just do sockets in both of them. Let's grab the other CIA, because I don't know in what order we took them out. Place this in the back bit. Test this one. The phone's going off. The bird. So this CIA chip itself is good. That is great. Mr. Simon is going to be so happy that we got him back and sort of alive. U300, even CIA is on the screen. I'm going to, I gotta get the solder sucker, not the solder station. Okay, that's that. See the goofiness of a couple of them? They're like half there. The grippiness was gone. I'm wondering if it was like, it doesn't matter. It's... I'm glad I took that socket out because that shows the cause of said problem. Right here, there is a massive... I dug my CIA out with a screwdriver and sliced a freaking data line. I can feel the break. Huh. Why is my CIA acting up? Well, honk my hooter. It sucks, but you know what? I was going in there with a socket anyway, and that revealed a problem that I couldn't see because these are like covered. How in the hell? Well, yeah, it was... Okay, so here's this... On the socket, you can clearly see on the end there's a massive mark right here in the center. Screwdriver of... Look, if you're going to go in and dig a CIA out, or any chip on an Amiga, people do this and they go crunch to lift the chip. No. Chubby checker. Do the twist, okay? That way you're not getting in here. You'll see me, I'll roll through a whole socket. As long as you're twisting, you're not going to gouge the board, okay? Twist, twist, come on, baby. When you go in and you do the lift, crunch, you go into a dig, and you potentially run the risk, like this one did, of damaging a trace. You go here. No BB. Bork, bork. We're going to use something new. Now, Mr. Jonathan has always helped me out. And he found this dude who's like a fixer dude who's like way better than me, called Northridge Fix. It's a computer company that fixes all sorts of various electronics. And I watched several of his videos and even subscribed. I don't watch a lot of YouTube because I'm on it. But he sells a bunch of tools. That was the UV light for fixing the 600 pads. This is a Northridge Fix grinding pen. Grind, polish, cut, drill tips. Over voltage protection. Some stuff. Okay, it's got some Northridge Fix V2 stuff. It's got a charger port on the bottom. Really low. Let's give this a go. Ooh, that is scary. That worked very well. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan, for this. I'm going to put it back in the box because if I don't, I'm going to lose all the bits because this is meant to be its holder. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to put some flux on here, and I'm going to tin this busted thing. Okay, now do I have continuity? That's smoky. Oh yeah. Boom. Check this out. That's as good as my camera goes. Sorry. Right here, I use the grinding pen from Northridge Fix, courtesy of Mr. Jonathan. Ground out that. Solder drug that broken trace right there. And that is working. Whew. So, as I always mention in many of my videos, due to the age of these computers, if you are not the original owner, you're probably not the first dude to put your fingers in her. So keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff that's second, third, fourth hand. You have to go back over people's fixes, patches, repairs. Something could have worked at the time and not works now. Or a solution to troubleshoot of removing something could have caused an additional problem. So just something to keep an eye on. With that, we're going to grab a 40 pin. I do have SIL turn pin. I like the turn pin sockets. I tend to use regular sockets. Why is that? Because a turn pin socket is a round hole socket. And it looks like this. Right? See the round hole, and this is a regular dip socket. When you use a turn pin socket, your chips have to be exactly bent to the turn pin's socket. Any deviation from that pin will cause it not to work. And then you get a bent chip, a possible bent leg of said chip, and it becomes a real pain in the babushka. So I use straight open 40s, and they work really well for what I do. Alright, that is that. I'll clean up aisle 5. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Alright, so I got putty on the right, serial plugged in. When I was putting this CIA in, I noticed that this CIA U350 is all borked up too. No serial, no nothing. Stuck in low. Yeah, there it goes. Same thing, clicking. I can click now, but it borks it. Look at this. That is a CIA issue. So, yeah, no mouse, no serial, no CPU, no anything. Let me turn it off, energize. Well, that booted way too quick. That was not right. Off. It was like the fastest diagram boot ever. What in the hell? I don't think we got it. I think that second CIA is toast. I don't like doing that right now. That looks nice. It's getting bigger. Why is the text getting bigger? What in the heck? Oh Lord, this is a cursed machine.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?